If marrying early means at the age of 30, I don't think so, because my parents got married after 30s, and they are having happy life. And for male especially, maybe they are not necessarily obliged to marry early, because their circumstances are different from the women. Women, because they have to give birth, maybe it's better for them to get early, I mean before 30, if they want to give birth, I mean. Yeah, thank you.
I don't think early or late really comes into the question. I think you should get married when you have found the right person and you're really sure that this is someone you want to spend the rest of your life with.
I think it's probably better to marry later in life, though possibly that's influenced by the fact that both of my parents married at a later stage in life. The reason I think that is because it allows you to really discover who you are and to do a lot of the things that you would want to do while you're young.
I'm 27 right now, so I don't consider, if I marry now, I don't consider marrying early, so I guess marrying late is better. You get more experience and ideas what marriage is. You get to maybe find the perfect guy for yourself, so I'd rather marry late.
I think you should marry when you're older, but I don't think that means that marrying when you're young is necessarily a bad thing. I just think when you're older, you understand more about yourself. The person you marry, you should be able to imagine that this is the person you're going to live with for the rest of your life. And when you're young, maybe you don't know what the rest of your life is going to be. So when you're a little bit older, you can perhaps see that and, find someone who's the best match for you.
I used to believe that marrying young is better than marrying later in life. But now that I married later, I think it was a good decision to do whatever you want to do when you're young and you have experienced things you couldn't have done if you were married. So I'm really happy to be married a little later in my life.
I definitely would rather rent my own home, because right now I can't imagine myself settling down and being in a permanent place for a long time. I haven't lived in one place for more than 3 years in the last 10 years, so it's really hard for me to imagine actually owning my house and staying there for the rest of my life.
I think it's better to own a home. I know that it's always a big investment. You have to pay a lot of money up front, but I think it's important to think of it as like a long-term benefit that's going to provide you with some kind of security when you choose to sell, or when you retire, you're going to have somewhere to live.
I prefer to own a home, even though at the moment I rent an apartment. I would very much like to own a home so I can have my own garden and grow plants that I like.
I believe that owning a house, owning a home is always better, because land price is something stable, and most probably it will become more expensive. So getting a loan and try to own a house is much better than paying money for the rents, which goes nowhere.
I would say it's better to own if you possibly can, because otherwise you're just throwing money away if you're renting. But I also think it's important not to tie up all your money in a home. You should enjoy yourself in other ways, not become house poor, as they say.
At this stage in life, I think I would rather rent a home, because I wouldn't want to be tied to being in one place for a long period of time. Later in life, I could imagine, though, that I would like to own a property somewhere.
Do I worry about my appearance? Yeah, I do. In high school, I didn't worry about it at all, but I don't know, coming to college, I really became self-conscious about my image, and I tried to reinvent myself in a way. So, yeah.
I don't think I really worry about my appearance because I don't have much time to worry about my appearance and I don't consider it that important. But maybe sometimes I'd like to spend some time on.
Actually, I don't worry about my appearance, but sometimes when it goes beyond the limit, then I had to, because everyone is a social being and it's different when it looks good and it's different when it looks bad. I think I lose my confidence when I look bad.
Yes, I do. I wish I didn't, but I do. I spend quite a lot of time shopping, choosing clothes, doing my hair, fixing my makeup, getting my nails done. So yeah, I spend quite a lot of time on my appearance.
Well, actually, I don't really worry about my appearance. I'm already telling myself to go to the hairdressers for 2 months, and I still didn't go. So maybe I should worry a little bit more because my hair really looks awful right now.
I don't. I think I'm okay. I used to be really worried when I was a kid, cause I don't know, like I've been called Four Eyes when I was in school by boys, and I used to be bullied. But right now, I sort of like my glasses, and I sort of like my appearance, so I'm not that worried anymore.
I was in a typhoon in Hong Kong, and I just arrived with a big heavy backpack, and I had to hide in a telephone box while the street flooded and the water came up around me.
Natural disaster. No, I haven't been in a natural disaster. Unfortunately, I was very close to a bomb which went off in Manchester when I was about 16 years old, which was quite scary, but probably not as scary as a tsunami or a typhoon or something.
Oh, yes. I have been in a natural disaster. I forget what year, but Hurricane Aniki in Hawaii. But I lived on Oahu, so we got the eye of the hurricane, so it wasn't, like, harsh at all. In fact, I remember when it hit, I remember telling my parents I wanted to go out and fly a kite because it looked so nice outside. So it wasn't really that bad of an experience for me.
Yes, I have. I've been in a fire, a really big one actually. It was just very scary. There was just smoke everywhere and I couldn't see anything. My eyes were hurting. I was choking. And I really thought I was going to die. But I was rescued by an old man passing by.
Okay, have I been in a natural disaster? Well, I've actually seen one happen while I was driving, and this was along I think it's called the Pacific Ocean Highway, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, there was in December 2004, I think it was. There was a big landslide during the raining season in Los Angeles, and while I was driving, I actually saw it. And then I didn't know what was damaged like, but it was all over the news, and then it was bad.
Yeah, actually, I was staying with friends in Norway, and we were camping, and we got hit by a blizzard, and it was really frightening. But luckily, I was with some big Viking Norwegian guys, and they knew exactly what to do because I didn't. It was really, you couldn't see anything. It was so white and the snow was so heavy, and it actually hurt quite a lot. And it didn't help that it was absolutely freezing.
I would rather break up with someone because I like to be in control of things. So if someone breaks up with me, I wouldn't be in control of things. So that would change the status quo. And I would like to break up with that person instead of that person breaking up with me.
I would rather have someone to break up with me because I know that if they break up with me that I can handle it quite good, I guess. But if I break up with them, I just don't want to hurt their feelings.
I think I would prefer break up with someone because if somebody breaks up with you, you just feel horrible. You feel like you're worth nothing and you're completely alone in the world. So I would prefer to take the initiative by myself and not feel so bad about it.
I would rather have somebody else to break up with me, but then of course the situation, if it's different, then I have to do that step, then I'm willing to do that.
I would rather have someone break up with me than break up with someone else. Because after you break up, people are always asking you why, what happened. And if you can blame it on someone else rather than making it look like you were the bad guy, it's so much easier.
Oof, that's a tough question. I think either way, if you break up with someone or they break up with you, it's not a pleasant experience. So I can't answer that. I'd rather not break up with anyone at all.
Am I a good dancer? No, I'm a terrible dancer. Yeah, if you talk about breakdancing, I would literally break something. If I went to a club, or if I'd stay at the bar more. Although friends have tried to teach me a bit of moves, some moves, I am still very terrible at it.
Yes, I am a good dancer. I love dancing. I love music. That's a big stress release for me, is to go out and dance the night away. And I love getting dressed up in dancing clothes and high heels and sparkles and glitter.
Am I a good dancer? Yeah, I think I am. Depending with the person I'm dancing with, yeah, I think I'm a good dancer, and I love dancing. I've loved dancing since I was a kid, and I still do. I don't think I'm going to stop anytime soon.
I consider myself as an okay dancer, I guess. I've been working out these days, and I think my favorite way to work out is to close all the curtains and just blast out my favorite song and just dance in my room. But I won't let anybody see, except for my cat.
Are you a good dancer? Well, that depends. Are we talking about real dancing or Dance Dance Revolution, the video game? Because I am a monster at Dance Dance Revolution. Real dancing, not so much, though.
I'm not a very good dancer. I'm very uncoordinated, so whenever I try to dance, I know what I want to do in my mind, but as soon as I try and do it with my hands, it just looks completely different.
I don't like shopping very much. I'm not into all this walking around department stores, looking at stuff, choosing things. I'm a tall guy, and so it's really hard for me to find clothes that fit. So shopping is really not pleasant.
Well, I really enjoy shopping. That's why a week I can spend about 4 times to go to the department store, especially when there is a bargain or sales. And since my house is near one of the biggest department store, it's about 5 minutes by car. So, well, if we want to have lunch together, we go to that department store, and after that, yeah, we go shopping. I go shopping quite a lot recently, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. But what I buy is usually daily needs, such as fruits or food, but not clothes or things like that.
How often do you go shopping? Well, recently, I don't really go shopping at all. Maybe only once a year. I remember in high school, though, I used to go shopping probably once a week. I used to be one of those spoiled little rich kids that would get anything they wanted. But, again, moving out on my own, I've discovered $100 for a t-shirt is not a good deal. And, yeah, I think I'm a little bit of a better person for it.
I go shopping maybe about 2 times a week. I really enjoy shopping, and where I live there are lots and lots of clothes shops open after I finish work. So often when I leave work on my way home, I find myself wandering into shops and picking things up and trying things on. I love shopping.
How often do I go shopping? I like to do my shopping on a weekday because I don't like crowded places, and so I do my shopping usually on Mondays or Tuesdays. But for buying groceries, I like to do my shopping on Fridays.
The best way to learn English is to go abroad, live in that country for a while, get used to the culture, and make friends. I think socializing is the best way to learn a new language.
What is the best way to learn English? I think the best way to learn English is to talk with native speakers, speakers who have English as their mother tongue. But the really best way to learn English is if you have an English boyfriend or girlfriend, because that really makes you learn English a lot faster.
I think the best way to learn English is to speak with people in English and try to communicate in English as much as you can. And the next thing I think is to listen for the news and TV and native English speakers and do it as often as possible. The best way to learn English, first you watch movies, a lot of movies, foreign movies. Well, English movies to be the best. And you can choose the movies. That's the first thing that you have to. And then, second of all, you can learn new vocabulary. And the other best things to learn English is having conversation with a native speaker, because you can improve your pronunciation.
I think meet many foreigners and make foreign friends, because not only studying a book and read book and correcting a grammar, it is important, but facing with a real native is one of the most important to improve your English skill.
The best way to learn English, I believe, is actually go to a country that they speak English. You will pick it up very fast. There is no other way around. You have to learn, or otherwise you will be somewhat outside of the society. So the best way to learn is being around the people that speak English.
Yes, I enjoy cooking, especially with my sister, because I prepare all the things, but she will wash. That's our agreement. And I like a cook with the simple ingredients, less than 5, because it will take little time, fewer little time.
I absolutely never cook. I used to cook when I was in university, but I never got very far with it. It was boring. And I have a microwave and a kettle in my apartment, and that's it. And I would never cook for another person.
Do I enjoy cooking? Yes, I do. Ever since I started to live on my own, I've really started to enjoy cooking. Of course, I just don't like the dishes. My record is 1 month, actually, of not doing the dishes. So, of course, after not doing the dishes for about a month, there's a really interesting smell that starts to develop.
Do I enjoy cooking? Well, I don't really enjoy cooking because I'm not a very good cook. Well, I like to try new things and like experiment in cooking, but I don't really enjoy. I like baking and I like trying new things out, but not particularly cooking.
Do I enjoy cooking? Yes, I do enjoy cooking, especially when I have free time on the weekends. I live with my flatmates and we cook together at times. We cook ethnic foods from Africa, that's where I come from, Kenya in particular. And yeah, I enjoy cooking.
I do not enjoy cooking in the slightest. I'm a terrible cook and I will eat anything, so I have absolutely no motivation to learn to cook.
Do you count calories? Well, actually, I don't really have to count calories because no matter how much I eat, it just goes in and out, and I don't gain any weight at all. So if I eat a lot, my weight is just the same. So I don't have to count it because I don't gain weight. It's very easy for me.
No, I don't count calories. I think about what I'm eating and how much fat or sugar it might have, but no, I don't go as far as counting calories. I think if I started that, I might get obsessed with it and do it all the time.
Calories. I think last year I was counting calories because I had this gym craze, but that just ended. That lasted for like 2 months over the summer, and I stopped. So now I just don't do that. I just prefer to just eat whatever I like.
Most girls are counting calories, but I don't because I love food and I enjoy eating food. And one of a way to solve my stress is to eat good food and delicious food and go around like good food places.
Do I count calories? No, not at all. I have no interest in my health. Bring on the Big Macs, bring on the Colonel. I'm totally down for it.
I don't even know how to count calories, though I think that you still should stick to a healthy diet, though you don't have to count every single calorie that you're eating.
I like so many athletes, and as I was changing sports, I liked Michael Jordan, Larry Bird in basketball. I liked Lance Armstrong when I was doing cycling, and right now I can't think of anyone, but I think Lance Armstrong was and still my favorite athlete.
Who is the best athlete I like? Well, he's a very famous athlete. His name is Michael Phelps, and I really like him because, one, he's very handsome. Two, he is obviously very talented. He's broken world records for swimming. And most recently in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, he really came forth and took the spotlight from a lot of other swimming athletes.
Who is a famous athlete I like? I like a lot of athletes for the skills they demonstrate when they're on the court, on the ice, on the field and such, but I can't really say I hold any of them up as a role model. I don't respect any of them to a higher degree than I would other figures. I think a lot of people respect athletes too much for their ability to bounce a ball or hit a ball. I do respect some athletes like Dikembe Mutombo, who was a famous basketball player who used his profile and his money to do a lot of good work in his native Africa.
The famous athlete that I like is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the football player from Sweden, actually. I like him because he stands for success, and he's just a really good football player.
A famous athlete that I like would be maybe Michael Jordan, because his tenacity and intensity to win every time he played and to be the best was quite incredible.
Okay, I would say I like David Beckham, but I think I like him like in the past better than now. The reason why I like him because he's a very good footballer, and this apart from his professional life career, he has a very very good a big family, and then he has children, and then he knows how to manage his professional life and his private life, which I like about him. And he did a lot of like advertising commercial, and he's kind of sexy. That's why I like him.
In my country, in Sweden, of course, I have to say my home country, my home city, Gothenburg. It's the west coast, and it has the best beaches, and I think it's the best city because the people are also polite, and they're not like the capital city we have, and because the people there is more busy and don't talk to people. And in my city, Gothenburg, yeah, that's the best city to live in there.
The best place to live in Sweden is definitely the west coast because of the people. They're friendlier and more open. And during the summer in Sweden, it's beautiful, the west coast.
Well, I'm from California, and I really love my home state. It's got big cities, it's got great beaches, it's got mountains, snow, hot weather, cold weather. Everything you want is there. Sure, the East Coast is beautiful, down south is very interesting, but I'm happy with California.
I actually happen to live in the best place to live in the country, which is Northern Virginia, outside of D.C. It's very diverse, and there's great universities there, and there are a lot of different kind of people to meet, and a million things to do for whatever your interests happen to be.
I think the best place to live if you want to have a cultural experience and meet lots of people is Melbourne. But if you like beaches and the sun, I would say my hometown, Perth.
Best place to live in my country? Easy, Tasmania. Tasmania is where I'm from. It's a beautiful island with many mountains, so it has very good hiking. It's a nice city with really nice views of the ocean.